my apple of my eyes. Welcome to a new and updated Ignister deck profile.
We decided to update Ignisters today because a lot of people have been asking for it, and believe it or not, it's been seeing a lot of popularity in the Rogue tier of this format. This deck was also just one of those decks that had a lot of popularity on first release, but then it kind of got power crept. However, over the past couple months, we have gotten cards that have helped this deck's consistency and helps this deck's resilience.
Also, shout out to us. We're at the YCS right now. Well, not literally right now because it doesn't start until this weekend, but we're currently on the road on our way to the YCS. We're meeting up with Gage and Dan today in Pittsburgh. We have Coder in the car with us, and we're bopping on over to Charlotte tomorrow. So if you're going to be at the YCS, make sure you come say hi to us. Don't be a stranger. Come say hi. I'll have stickers. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, and comment your best I pun in the comment section. I will be pinning the top voted one, so make sure you're liking, make sure you're checking them out, and give me your best puns, team.
Without further ado, let's get right into this Ignister deck profile. Woo. So starting off, we have 3 copies of Achichi, aka Red, or aka Fire, and then we have 3 copies of Picari, aka
Pikachu, aka Yellow, aka Light. Shout out to the DB Grinder 40 versus 40. I don't think this deck is 40, but we love to see it anyway.
All the Ignister monsters have effects on normal or special summon, and Red and Yellow are your best starter cards because on summon, Red searches you any Ignister monster from your deck to your hand, and then Yellow is the opposite. It searches any Ignister spell or trap card directly from your deck to your hand.
That's I meet you.
They also do have secondary effects. Picari's is actually a little bit better than Achichi's because Picari's effect is you can target one Ignister monster you control and its level becomes 4 until the end of the turn. This comes up just because, you know, obviously we are trying to make update Jammer transcode and just kill our opponent on the follow-up.
And that's it. Moving on to the next cute little colorful monsters.
We are playing 2 copies of Doyon.
Doyle rules.
One copy.
I will never not make that joke.
Of Baruru and 1 copy of Danmari, 1 copy of Hiyari, water, and then the other copy of Gichiri.
Sorry guys, you don't get any cool nicknames, just the Doyle rules and boo-woo-woo.
For anyone who has not noticed, all the Ignister monsters are actually different attributes, and this has a ton of synergy, and actually the main focal point of the deck is the field spell, being able to special summon different attribute monsters from your hand.
This deck is a very field spell reliant deck, so you'll learn that very quickly. So having all these monsters and access to them, kind of going to be turboing them out really quick.
Access, get it? So on summon, Doyon adds any of your Ignister monsters back to your hand from your graveyard, and then when it's sent to the graveyard for link material, it adds any Ignister spell or trap card back to your hand. I like to think of Doyon as like a culmination of Red and Yellow. Baruru on summon sends Danmari, and then Danmari, when you have the link 6, engrave is a quick effect. You just banish it and negate any card on the field. Your Hiyari is just a special summon if you control another Ignister monster, and then Gichiri targets a Cyberse effect monster you control, negate its effects, and then special summons itself. It also has the additional effect where if this card on the field is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster you control. That target is unaffected by your opponent's card effect. And the reason that this is really good is because if you use this to make access code, you can always make this chain link 1 and then access code chain link 2 so that your access code is unaffected by everything and your opponent can't respond to your access code.
I don't know, hot take, I think they all just look like candy, but you know, that's just me loving candy, you know, anyway.
And then moving off to our plethora of going second cards, because that's kind of what this deck can capitalize on, we are playing double copies of Ash. I know that sounds really weird, but just hang with us here.
Sure, bro.
Triple copies of Ogre.
Okay.
Triple copies of Nibiru.
Okay.
Triple copies of Infinite Impermanence.
Sick.
And then triple copies of Forbidden Droplets.
Nice and budget. Love that.
This deck being a hand trap type deck, once again, reminds us a lot of Tri-Brigade, reminds us a lot of like other like mid-range type decks. And the reason these cards are so good is because they're all blowout cards. And that's why we've chosen to play 2 Ash Blossom, because Ogre in this current format is an absolute blowout card. Nibiru, blowout card. Imperm Droplet, absolute blowout cards. Ash is a really good card, but it is a 1-for-1 trade. And if you're 1-for-1ing with your opponent, you're not really getting a ton of advantage.
It's also really important to have a lot of outs to Scythe in this deck, which is why we are playing Droplets and Imperm. You literally need to be able to out a Scythe.
Your extra deck is the entire deck.
Yeah, you kind of just lose. I don't think the little candy pieces are going to cut it. So that's why we are playing these cards. You really need to play them. I can't recommend Droplets being really important enough.
Now, if you can't afford Droplets or you don't want to play Droplets, I do recommend playing the Small World package, which is, you know, just 3 Small World.
Yeah.
This deck does have 12 normal summons. We haven't gotten to the remainder yet. However, the only way that this deck really loses is if your opponent sets up an unbreakable board, which we are trying to stop here. And then if you do not open a name, and I know that sounds crazy because we are playing a ton of names, but it's happened more than once. So
shout out to the RNG.
If you want to play Small World to get your consistency even higher, I would recommend dropping either Imperm or Droplets and playing Small World instead. And speaking of those consistency cards, we are on triple copies of Synapse Mining, triple copies of I Meet You, triple copies of the field spell, probably honestly like one of the best field spells ever printed.
It's insane.
1 copy of Eye Contact, 1 copy of Idol Reborn, triple copies of Crossout Designator, and 1 copy of Called by the Grave.
Yo, Crossout made this deck so good.
It really did. In all honesty, Nib is one of the only things, Nib and Joel are like the only things that really kind of like destroy this deck. This deck plays through a ton of interruption. All these consistency cards allow you to deal with your opponent's hand traps and continually play through them, and Crossout is one of those cards that just like, it stops Nib. We are siding Joel, obviously. Side decks will be on Patreon if you are interested, so feel free to check that out.
Not like right now, though, because we're at a YCS,
we
but
are,
it'll be up in the next week.
Next week or so. Sign up mining, I mean, I think everyone knows what this card does at this point. You just discard and search any Cyberse monster. Your entire deck is Cyberse. I Meet You is basically like your second playset of Sign Up Mining, because all you do is you reveal a Cyberse monster in your extra deck with 2300 attack. You search the attribute of that monster that you revealed from your main deck to your hand. So if you reveal a fire, you search fire. If you reveal a light, you search light. The only thing is, if you do not special summon the reveal the monster from your extra deck this turn, you do take 2300 damage during the end phase.
But you're setting up a tower, so who cares?
And then Island, we're just gonna shuffle all these over here. Island, this card is absolutely insane.
It's
Not only is
also
it insane,
beautiful.
yeah, this card is really pretty.
I think this is such a pretty field spell.
It looks like Candyland.
I think. Man, sorry. I'm just gonna, every time I say the word I'm just gonna be like, oh, I.
So the reason that this card is so crazy is because it says, if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your hand, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon Ignister monsters with that attribute. This is special summoning every freaking name in your deck because all of your monsters are different attributes.
As we said, this is a very field spell reliant deck, and being that it is field spell reliant, a lot of people are going to try to hit this card as soon as they can with like things like Ogre, so that you know it can't resolve. However, this card has a really dandy effect in the graveyard that says if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish an Ad Ignister monster and set it to your field. You just put it back.
Just comes right on.
It literally just comes back. This deck is so bonkers. This is like one of the coolest design field spells I've ever seen. So yeah, it just comes back. So Ogre it all you want, but it's coming back.
And then real quick, we are playing the 1 copy of Idol Reborn and our 1 copy of Eye Contact. Well, I chose to play Eye Contact. I think this card's okay. You can play the new Reborn that came out, or you can just play double copies of Idol Reborn. This is a draw 3. Like if you do open the field spell and then you do have access to like a normal summon, which you typically always do, you search your field spell and then you just activate this, shuffle back one of your field spells, and then just draw 3 cards. Plus 2 is kind of really strong in this deck.
Yeah, that's pretty good for any deck, I feel like.
And that's it for the main deck. Let's hop right into the extra deck.
This deck just feels like Live Twins, but different. Am I wrong, chat? I don't know. Chat, comments. You better be putting your puns in the comments.
Starting off, we are playing the 1 copy of our Link Spider. No, we are not playing Verte Anaconda, but if your opponent does nib you and you do have a token that is a monster in your main monster zone, and you cannot have that to have your field spell live, so this just takes the token, puts this in your EMZ so that you can start playing even further. And then we are on double copies of our Dark Infant Ad Ignister. This literally just searches your field spell on summon, and then when your Dark Templar, it's really, this card should just say Dark Templar, but when your Dark Templar activates its effect, you can move this card to the zone that it points to, which is why it has this cute little arrow to the left.
It's like if Striker Dragon and then World Legacy Guard Dragon had a baby, and well, they named him Baby, so he's the baby. And we are playing the 1 copy of Cyberse Wicked. When a monster is special summoned to its area, you can banish a Cyberse monster and then search a tuner. Bro, why isn't he hollow? They never made one. I hate it here. It's pretty sad. That's not Wicked. Speaking of hollows, we do have our kind of new hollow foil of double copies of Splash Mage. Yo! And then speaking of Link Spider, we are playing the 1 copy of Security Dragon as well, because as you saw in the main deck, we are playing Nibiru. So if you nib your opponent, you can still normal summon and then clear out your main monster zone by putting Security Dragon in your extra monster zone. And then obviously, kind of broken Link 2s, we're playing the update jammer. I hate this card. Which goes into transcode, which just goes into access code. This is kind of like our little OTK package. And then just for the rest of our Ignisters, we are on the 1 copy of Dark Templar, our 1 copy of Fire Phoenix, and then the Arrival Cyber himself. Yeah, this is Big Towers, boy. This guy says build a wall, and this is the one you reveal and usually burn yourself with. When we get Heat Soul, you 1,000,000,000% replace this card with Heat Soul. This card sucks and you never summon it. Also, shout out to Heat Soul. He's coming out in Ghosts from the Past, officially confirmed. I'm very excited. So hopefully we'll get to update this deck and a whole bunch of other decks when we get all these cool new imports. Yay! And then speaking of cards that are kind of useless, we are playing the 1 copy of our Light Dragon Ad Ignister. I forgot about him. Yeah, I've only summoned this like once. You just reveal this off the light to grab your Pikachu. And then the final card, the last card that we have decided to play in our extra deck, is the 1 copy of Cyberse Quantum Dragon. I have no idea what this does. Quantum Dragon says that while you control a Link
Link monsters, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters you control for attacks except this one. Also, your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects except this one as well. One of the only ways to out a 4K towers is with access code. So you're basically trying to set up your 4K towers and this so that your opponent can't beat over your towers. They have to enter battle with this. And then this has a secondary effect where once per turn at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can return that monster to the hand and it can make a second attack in a row.
Damn, that's pretty good, Chief. And then really quick before we go into the combo segment, which, you know, you're totally gonna stick around for because you want to learn how to play the deck and how to beat it. This is your towers, in case you didn't know. This is the Arrival Cybers at Ignister. He's big, he's beefy, and he ruins your day. He also has a second effect that I really just wanted to talk about. Once per turn, you can target a monster on the field and destroy it. Shout out to Bear on the Floor. And if you do, special summon an Ad Ignister token, which is pretty neat to a zone this card points to. So that's pretty sick. You just get to pop cards. It's really nice. As if being unaffected wasn't enough, you also get to blow up boards. That's great. Anyway, that's it. Let's move on to the combo section, shall we? All right, hi, welcome to the combo tutorial section of the video. We like to show you guys a random 5-card test hand to show you guys the realistic ceiling of what these decks can do with any random 5 cards. So make sure you let us know if you enjoy these. Make sure you give me your best eye puns in the comments. I'll be pinning the one that has the top votes. So anyway, thank you guys. Wish us luck for the YCS this weekend, and thank you for being here. That's it. I love you.
Make sure you subscribe too if you haven't subscribed.
That too.
So we're gonna do a couple of these and then boom. All right, opponent, cut me up.
Bing, boom, bop.
All right, so we're gonna start off with one copy of Droplets, cross out Designator, one card combo.
Woo,
beautiful. I Meet You for extension, and then another copy of Droplet.
Shout out to Imperial Order not existing anymore. This is
Yo,
awesome.
Pog.
This is insane. You got cross out. This is so good. I love this.
you have your starter, you have an extender, and then you have cross out, and then you do have double Droplets
What
as
a
well.
gift.
All right, so what we're gonna do here is we are going to start out with normal summon red, and then we're gonna activate red's effect. Red will search us a yellow from deck to hand, and now we're gonna take our red and we are going to link summon into our copy of Dark Infant. Now on summon, Dark Infant is going to trigger and search the field spell from our deck to our hand. So here we're gonna grab a copy of Ignister Island, and now we're gonna activate our island.
Woo!
Beautiful. Now we're basically online. The deck's free. So we're going to activate the island's effect.
Online. Yes, we're in the brains. Into the brains.
We're going to special summon our copy of Picari, and then Picari activates on summon. So typically you do search your I Meet You here, but because we opened it, we are going to actually search our copy of Idol Reborn instead. Now we're going to link summon again into our copy of Cyber's Wicked. Now we can activate the I Meet You, and we are going to reveal a Dark. So that's literally Dark.
Dark Templar.
Bam. And the best part is you do summon this throughout your combo, so you don't actually take the 2300 damage at the end phase.
Love that.
Doyle rules. So now we're going to activate the field spell to special summon our Doyon, and we can activate our Wicked is Chainlink 1, Doyon is Chainlink 2. And Doyon is summoned, we are going to target the normal summoned monster that we use this turn, which is red, and add it back to our hand. The reason that we're adding red back is because though we've normal summoned it, we haven't special summoned it, so we can still get an additional summon off the field spell. Cyber's Wicked will then banish a Cyber's monster, search Ooh Woo Woo from our deck to our hand.
Woo woo.
Now we can link into our copy of Splash Mage. So now we're going to activate the field spell and special summon green and then activate green's effect. This is going to send your Danmari from your deck to the grave, and now we can just activate our Splash Mage and special summon back our Doyon. Now a lot of people here choose to make the Ad Ignister Synchro Monster. I don't really think that card is worth playing in your extra deck. Maybe it's worth siding for your back row matchups, but you really just want to have that protection for your Link 6. So instead of Synchro Summoning here, we are just going to continually Link. Here we're going to make our Dark Templar Ad Ignister, and this is extremely crucial that you summon it in the right EMZ. Now we can activate our Ignister Island, special summon our red, because as we said before, we haven't special summoned our red before. Red does not trigger because we have already activated it, but we will link one more time into our second copy of our Dark Infant at Ignister, and now we can activate our Dark Templar, and then now because that activated, this will trigger scooching itself over. This does change attributes when it does that, so we are going to call Divine. Here we'll special red, green, and yellow. Make sure it is these colors because you already have a dark on field, and yeah, you know, you don't want to put another dark on field, so keep this one in your graveyard. Now we can synchro summon using our 3 and our 4, making our Cyber's Quantum Dragon, and then that triggers our Boo-Woo. Because we did special a synchro monster, we're going to special summon back one of the materials. So now we have Divine, Fire, Light, and Dark. This adds up to 6.
Oh my god, we're doing math. Donk. Towers Turbo, baby.
Beautiful.
You did it. You did the combo.
And then obviously, you know, we do have the cross out if they had any
yeah.
reaction, and then if they did stop us anywhere, we had a reborn as
And
well.
you have Droplet.
And now we're just gonna send Droplet, so we can like send Droplet. So we have 1, 2, I guess this technically counts as 3 forms of interruption, and then we also have the Danmari in our graveyard. What I like to do here, as I said, access code is really the only out to this card. So what I like to do is when they make the access code, let them try to clear your board, do whatever, and then at resolution of the game, then you just Danmari banish and then just negate the access code, so it goes back down to 23. They put all these resources into trying to out this, and then you just said GG's.
Itty bitty access code.
And then you do have Idle Reborn for follow up as well to like grab a red back. Red can then just grab anything on your opponent's turn, and then you just, you know, completely play for free one more time, and you access code your opponent.
Fun. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so great. And that's it. This deck is really fun. It definitely got a helpful buff with Crossout Designator. It definitely needed it because this deck loses to those blowout hand traps, and Crossout definitely fixes that entire problem. Of course, if you want to play the Small World build, you are more than welcome to, but we definitely enjoy this version of the build. I think it's super powerful. Shout out to Akukans if you're watching, babe. This is for you. She's our resident Ignister player, and she's perfect. But yeah, we really enjoy this deck. It's one that we love updating, and so when we do get Heat Soul Code Talker, I said that backwards. Once we get him, we will be updating the deck probably again. So don't worry, we'll be back with more, but make sure you comment your iPuns. Make sure you let us know if you're playing the deck. We'll be at the YCS all weekend. Come say hi if you're going to be there. And yeah, but with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. We love you. You matter. And we will see you guys in the next video or at the YCS. Bye, team.
See ya.
Bye. Bye. You thought you'd get rid of us, didn't you?
See you in North Carolina.
Yep. I love the beach. We're not going to the beach bottoms. Oh.
Well, I'll give it.
See you there. Bye.